my peaches, I'm Eleanor and I'm getting ready to pull your 2020 year ahead tarot forecast. I'll be using Spirit Within Tarot by Stephen Bright. I'm going to pull 12 cards, one for each month. And then when I do your monthlies, I'm going to pull more cards and we can unpack the themes that come out with each card for each month. Each video is going to be labeled by zodiac sign, and it's also going to have a title so you'll know if it might be for you. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay because I'm reading for a lot of people and I do offer personal readings. My information will be in the description box below. Hit me up. I would love to see what's going on and help you out. Also, this reading may not necessarily resonate with your sun sign, so I recommend looking up all of your sign placements, because if you're more interested in a love reading, you might want to know where your sign is and your Venus sign is, or if you're wanting to know more about sex or your passion project, you'll want to know where your Mars is placed. Deeply personal, emotional things will be your moon. How other people are perceiving you, that'll be your rising. So if you get a full chart, you'll be able to get more out of my readings and find out which video is going to be the best one for you to watch and be most relevant to you. Also, this is my first video series ever, so I have a lot of wrinkles to work out, but bear with me. I know you just want to get to the messages, right? So let's get to it. Hey Gemini, let's see what 2020's got going on for you. I'm excited for this one personally. I'm a Gemini and I want to know. So me and you guys, Gemini, let's see what we're going to be dealing with. Gemini, what's Gemini looking at for January? Gemini's January. Let's see, one card that represents January for Gemini. Here we go. Queen of Pentacles. Taurus got the same one. So this is going to be feeling very much empowered in the physical world. So we should be, Gemini, you should be feeling healthy, feeling abundant, feeling very much in your power when it comes to navigating the physical realm. So navigating how to take care of yourself on all the levels that can be sensed. So navigating your job, navigating how to take care of your body, navigating how to take care of your environment. So it's going to be pretty empowering in January, and it's going to feel like you're off to a good start, like you're getting some traction, that you do something and you see a result. So February for Gemini is the Hermit. So the Hermit, Gemini, February, it looks like there's going to be going within, like with a capital W. So this isn't like the Four of Swords where you take a break. This is going to be, in the very spiritual sense, finding out what is true for you, regardless of other output, regardless of what other people think. If this can manifest physically, where you tune other people out and you do go within, but it's going to be mostly internal. It's going to be mostly spiritual. It's going to be where you're kind of thinning out and cutting out a lot of ideas that aren't serving you and finding out exactly what's your truth and what's been implanted there by others in culture, and refining your belief system. Gemini, March, Three of Swords. Gemini, Three of Swords in March is going to be talking about the way that your stories that you tell are breaking your own heart, the way you're remembering things in the worst possible light, the way that you may be losing your self-confidence because of lies that you told yourself, or things that maybe you heard once that were small and you've blown them into, this is who I am because that bitch in 5th grade said so, and now this is a big part of my identity that I have to live down. This is going to be where something that happened a long time ago that was traumatic, and you start to see evidence of it happening again, and so you're sure it is, and then it does because you behave the same way instead of choosing a different way. Three of Swords is grief, but it's grief that you're raining down upon yourself. So in March, Gemini, we're going to pull some more cards and we're going to find out how we can't tell a better story and unbreak our own heart and make certain that thing that we're so afraid is going to happen doesn't. through different actions. April, Gemini is the Empress. So where in January we were talking about feeling in our power in the physical sense, the Empress is going to be in her power in all the senses. So Empress is showing where we definitely, Gemini, get a handle on whatever this narrative is. So mental clarity in a way that is useful and productive. So stopping those stories in a way that we can get out of our own way and start creating again, start being abundant again, start feeling the luxury that we're creating in January with this Queen of Pentacles energy. Feeling in our authority the way we are with this Hermit energy. Yeah, April is going to be all kinds of fabulous for Gemini. So I'm going to say not to stress out about whatever this Three of Swords is in March, because in April it looks like it is, you got whatever it is on lock. So May, January, May for Gemini, Eight of Swords. This is another one where there is a way out. There may be a legitimate situation that you're in, and you're going to be looking for solutions, and they're going to be a lot of reasons to tell yourself that they're not going to work. This could, no. Well, I could try to, no. And it's going to be all of your own thoughts that are going to be keeping you feeling like you cannot move forward. And so do you remember Labyrinth, when Sarah's sitting there and she can't see, like the maze goes on this way and it goes on that way. She's like, there aren't any turns or openings anywhere. I can't do anything. And the worm's like, there's one right in front of you. And she's like, And she gets up and she walks towards it and it's like, holy crap. And now I can move on. I always think of that when I see the Eight of Swords. That's my Eight of Swords story. Yay. All right. So June, if you haven't seen Labyrinth, shame on you. Go watch it. It's the best. Let's see, June for Gemini. Happy birthday, Gemini. Knight of Swords. This is going to be very much in your element, Gemini. You're going to be communicating, you're going to be talking, you're going to be socializing, you're going to be seeking truth, and you're going to be spreading truth. This is kinetic energy in your area of communication and thought process. That's going to feel really good, and I think there's going to be a lot accomplished in your relationships with that Knight of Swords in January or June. So let's find out July for Gemini. Be careful with this Knight of Swords, Gemini. You can be in a position to hurt some feelings. Watch your tact. Choose your words carefully in June, Gemini. That Knight of Swords tells it like he sees it, which you need to be able to do, but there's a limit. There's a way to say things and a way not to say things. Communication, Gemini, is a means to an end, ultimately. So faulty communication is going to get you faulty results. But you're a communicator. You'll figure it out. You'll figure out just what to say. Without being manipulative. That's the other side of the spectrum where you don't want to go either, Gemini. Anyway, July for Gemini. Knight of Cups, another Knight, Gemini. So this is more kinetic energy. This is more being on the move in the emotional sense. So this communication that's been happening for you in June, it's that sort of communication is going to be slicing through some misunderstandings and slicing through some barriers between you and others. And it's going to, it's like breaking down a dam, so where now that the emotional waters can flow freely. It's like there's been a blockage, a big boulder stopping in the channel of the love that you want to give and receive. And by using your sword of truth and honesty and communication and clarity, now the emotions and the love can flow freely more back and forth in July. And you'll be able to feel more loving, and you'll be able to connect to and receive the love that people are trying to offer you, instead of putting up this little cage of thoughts that say, no, no, not me, not for me, I'm not good enough. Gemini, let's find out August for Gemini. Four of Swords. This is a relief to see after some of this mental energy going on. This is where Gemini in August, you take a mental break from all that overthinking and you relax your mind. And you will probably be turning off your phone, maybe not getting on Facebook so much. If you don't have time for an actual vacation, this is a mental vacation at the very least. Less stimulation, less TV, less screen time, less phone calls, less going out and chit-chatting. This is going to be where you rest that poor weary brain. Maybe in someone else's arms or in their lap and snuggling with that Knight of Cups there. Who knows? We'll find out. We'll find out in the monthly exactly what that means and how that's going to play out. And it's going to be different for each person, but we will still be able to get more clarity and drill down and break each of these down into 4-week segments. So let's find out September for Gemini. September. Just one, please. Gemini, September. You know what? That King of Pentacles stuck out, and I feel like I was supposed to take it, and I put it back, so I'm taking it. I'm guided to leave that King of Pentacles out. I shouldn't have put it back. September, the King of Pentacles. Gemini, in September, you may be very capable of being able to save money, being able to earn money, maybe overtime, maybe getting a grasp on what your body needs the most, what kind of foods are going to be the best for it. It's going to be mastering, feeling like you've gained some kind of mastery in this physical world, where if you live a lot in your head and you have a lot of thoughts and a lot of emotions, and there's a lot of what feels like instability, in September you're going to be feeling more stable in the physical sense. So whatever that means to you, which aspect of your environment needs stabilizing, needs to chill out, needs to solidify so you can feel like you're not walking around in a dolly painting, that's September. Where you can sit on the bench and you know it's not going to turn into a donkey and walk away. You can trust the physical world around you to stay and to hold and to be solid and to be counted on. And you're going to be feeling very comfortable in that new stable environment that you've been able to create with that King of Pentacles. October, Gemini, is the Sun. So in October, Gemini, the Sun, Gemini, to me is the Enlightenment card. So here in February, where you may be searching for some kind of spiritual truth, and your own spiritual truth, I should clarify. And with this being so grounded, I feel like this Sun is where the Hermit meets this King of Pentacles, where something becomes an idea, becomes an abstraction, and then you just see it explode in real life, and it gets confirmation. And now there's where you can see the path ahead of you lit in a way that there are no shadows, and that there's nothing hiding in the shadows to jump out at you. Everything is going to make sense. Everything should make sense in October. in a pretty big way. This sun is going to illuminate areas that have been troublesome in your environment. It's going to illuminate stories that you may have been telling that aren't true. It's going to light up areas that have been feeling lacking in energy and stagnant. That sun is going to be really fun to break down. But it's enlightenment. It is, what are the other words? Nirvana. The sun. Gemini, November. See, Gemini's November. Justice, Gemini in November is justice. Justice is equilibrium in a very mathematical and scientific way. Justice is the restoration of order. Anything that has been out of balance will be brought back into balance in a perfectly fair way. The other thing about justice is, though, justice can be restored, equilibrium and balance can be restored in a way that doesn't feel fair to us, and that is because we often make the mistake of placing ourselves at the center of that balance. And when our life is balanced, then balance is restored. That's not necessarily true. And this isn't to highlight anything I believe, it's just a thought experiment, but one might say that it's fair that humans aren't killing Earth. The Earth will survive, and equilibrium will be restored when people are gone. Which is totally unfair if you're a people, but it's equilibrium being restored to the balance of the universe. Do I think that's going to happen? Do I think that should happen? No. It's just an example of what I mean by something that's fair but may not be fair to you. So justice is it's neither positive or negative. It is equilibrium being restored in whatever way that needs to in your life. And so there is a bit of karma involved in this. There's a bit of this can go a lot of ways. So I'm very curious to find out in November what that's going to mean, what that restoration of balance and equilibrium is going to mean, because it's mathematical. It's cold and it doesn't really care. It can be in your favor or not, depending on what you've put out, what kind of energy you've put into it to begin with, if that makes any sense. 6 of Wands for December, Gemini. Well, that bodes well, actually, for that justice, because this is a success, and it's a success that is visible to others, and other people are going to join in with you. It's being able to, I kind of feel like this is a little bit of an Oscar speech, giving credit where credit's due. This isn't going to be a success that you've come to by yourself. You're going to have to honor those that helped create it. Okay, Gemini? This will be exciting to break down. Let's find out when we do the monthly. Thank you.